Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure review. For today's video, we are jumping way back into the time machine as we travel back maybe 27 years to 1995 as we take a look at Jim Lee's WildC.A.T.S. More specifically, Pike in ECM stealth suit. Alright, so this was a line of action figures produced by Playmates Toys way back when. This was actually version 2 of this character. The original first release of the figure saw him in his original colors, whereas for this second release, this was a paint variant, and as you can see here, it's kind of like a charcoal gray. Even though the artwork here is kind of like blue, which is kind of like weird and misleading. Same with the trading card. I never really thought about that before. So I guess they got his colors wrong altogether. But in all honesty, during the mid-90s, this was probably one of my favorite action figures. I liked it so much, I bought 2 of them. And it's crazy because, no, I take it back. I think I bought 3 of these. I think I bought 1 to keep mint on card, and then I bought 2 to actually take out because I love the figure that much. I think the big draw for me was that this, for whatever reason, it just reminded me of Snake Eyes, and I'm like, I don't know, I love Snake Eyes, and I'm like, this thing is dope, I need at least 2 of these loose, and I thought it was just cool, because, I mean, in some ways, it looked generic enough where it could be like an army builder figure. But it was also Pike, and Pike was pretty badass in the comic books. The back of the box... Whoops, knocked my camera. Alright, so on the back of the box, there were a lot of figures in this line. Some of them are repaints, but, you know, it's still a pretty impressive lineup. A lot of meaty text in the back. So you have a good description of the world and of the characters. They highlight the accessories. It comes with a Daemonite battle base, which is essentially a display stand with a Daemonite logo. Breakaway battle staff, pistol, and then you have Pike in his ECM stealth suit. Cool bio card, much like the old G.I. Joes. And one thing that was unique with this figure, as opposed to some of the other ones, is that for whatever wave this guy belonged to, they felt it necessary to like slap the Image universe on the top of the card. This was kind of interesting because McFarlane Toys at the time was producing a number of Image figures because they had Spawn, but they were also producing some other Image comics through his toy company. They did like Shadowhawk, they did Wetworks, some Savage Dragon figures. But Playmates, they had WildC.A.T.S and they also did Savage Dragon. But which was odd is that they didn't have this Image Universe logo on the Savage Dragon figures. And for whatever reason, they threw this on top of maybe like only one of the waves for WildC.A.T.S. But awesome figure. Lucky for you, I do have one loose. So we're going to take a look at that. So we have Pike over here in his stealth suit, his ECM suit. Like I said, it's, for whatever reason, I didn't realize it until now, but the figure on the character on the card and on the trading card, they're blue, but the figure is like a charcoal gray. So I don't understand the disconnect there, but as you can see, it's a beautiful figure. The proportions, the sculpting, the musculature is awesome. This one's a little bit dusty. I should have cleaned it before I filmed this video. But as you can see, I think the sculpting and the look of the figure and the character still holds up well after like 27 or 28 years. It's beautiful. The sculpting's a little bit on the softer side, but I think all is forgiven once you actually handle it. It's a great display piece. It's a welcome addition to the WildC.A.T.S toy line. Articulation is extremely limited, especially considering the size of this figure. You know, a figure at 6 to 7 inches tall should at least have more articulation, but for what it is, it just head rotation, arms rotate, I believe the forearms rotate, and then the legs kick. That's pretty much it. So it's a beautiful figure, but unfortunately kind of suffers from that, I don't know, for whatever reason in the 90s, toy designers felt it necessarily, they found it necessary to like pre-pose the figures. So he's kind of like in this battle ready stance with his knees bent and his arms and elbows like kind of like cocked and ready to fight. I don't know why they bother with the articulation, because they give you a display stand, so it felt like this was more of like a display piece than anything else. But he's a wonderful character to look at. You know, once you arm him up with his batons or his pistol. Let me get this on. Kind of like clumsy today. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so this is a really like badass looking character. Just look at that. That is beautiful. I love the shade of like black and gray. It's like a charcoal finish. It looks really, really nice. And as I stated at the start of the video, this was actually version 2 of the figure. Here's version 1. Identical figure. The only thing different is it's a repaint. So, you know, this one's a repaint of this guy here. You know, for me, it's kind of a toss-up about which one I like more. You know, this one here is Pike's OG original look. But this, man, this ECM suit figure looks awesome. I just love that finish. It's really, really sharp. All right, so let's exit the time machine and call this one quits. You know, if you grew up during this time period, I hope you found this video, you know, somewhat, you know, it's a little bit more nostalgia based. And if you grew up reading Wildcats or watching a cartoon, you know, I hope this kind of like brought back some fond memories of a long forgotten time period. And if you're a younger collector or comic book reader, I hope you explore the depths of the like Wildstorm line of comic books. You know, outside of Wildcats, they produce some incredible characters and some really cool stuff that kind of echoes even to this day. You know, like the Wildcats character Grifter. You know, he's part of the normal DC universe now. And McFarlane Toys is making a new Wildcats Grift. No, I take it back. It's not a Wildcats Grifter figure. It's just a plain, you know, DC Grifter figure. But it's kind of fun, you know, if you get a chance, jump back in your own personal time machine and check out these older comic books, these older toys. You know, there's a certain charm about them that I find irresistible. Alright, so once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.